The following episode contains Wi-Fi problems. This is because Trevor's family is streaming a Lion King's marathon. Sorry, and enjoy.
Oh, baby, the leaks are out. And guess what? The Canucks, they leaked this themselves, okay? They released a video from the NHL draft that showed clips of them having an option to trade down to the draft, and they chose not to do so. They must love that guy, Tommy Willander. Did they make the right call? We're going to tell you about it next. It's Beggsy and Bhawan, and you're listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, Canucks writer and part-time credentialed media member for Daily Hive Vancouver. And before we dive into today's show, we want to thank you for listening to Locked On Canucks. It's your team every day. Make sure you subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. On today's show, Kyle, we're going to talk about that video, okay? That video that the Canucks released from the draft. They had an option to trade down, but did not do so. We're also going to, it's Friday, have a little fun after ripping the team, okay? So we're going to bust out Trevor's trivia. Good luck to Kyle with that. But first and foremost, buddy, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling very, very excited for Trevor's trivia, okay? You just challenge me. Let's prove some of the people wrong, okay? It is what it is, you know? I'm not Trevor Beggs, but I'm still Kyle Bhawan, okay? For real. Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Seriously, every day, man. We went hard here. And I think starting next week, we can go down to 3 shows a week, if that's correct, which is something that we have to talk about, man, for real. Who knows? Maybe we'll give the people more, or maybe we'll just actually rest our voices for primetime, September, man. September's around the corner, and we get to actually talk about real things, unlike the things that Trevor Beggs wants to talk about today, man. This guy is so dark, so pessimistic. I'll say it again, the darkest guy on the program all the time. And here he is again questioning the Tom Willander pick to some extent. I know Benson is your third favorite player of all time. Is this the reason why you got
up there? Yeah,
I know. Anyways, how did this video make you feel? I think it was pretty obvious. We all knew this information anyways, that the Canucks did have the opportunity to, pick from another selection, gather in more draft picks, but they stayed their ground because they really, really wanted Tom Willander. And more notably, they feared that other teams wanted Tom Willander as well.
Which makes sense, right? Because, you saw a defenseman go pretty early in that draft. Reinbacher at 5th, Simashev at 6th. So, yeah, there's a good chance that Willander wasn't there. And this is coming from a guy who isn't necessarily a draft expert, but even guys who are draft experts, experts in quotations, Willander was kind of anywhere from, borderline top 10 to late first round, right? So the Canucks kind of picked him at the peak where he should have gone. But so I guess the problem I have with it is just for a team as asset poor as the Canucks, if you had a chance to move back in a deep draft, you do it and you pick up the extra assets. Okay. It's not even just about trying to draft Zach Benson here. I think Buffalo maybe wanted to go up and draft Benson. I don't know if they were necessarily targeting Willander. They could have been, but we don't know that. So that's my biggest gripe with it. So, just to break it down again, it was reported at the draft that Alvin and Kevin Adams, the Buffalo Sabres general manager, were having a conversation on the draft floor. Maybe they were talking about their summer plans. Like, do you prefer wakeboarding? Do you prefer water skiing? I don't know. Who knows what they're talking about?
Paddleboarding. Now that is
wow.
Great activity, Paddleboarding is something any human being can do. You can do it with your dog. You could do it with your cat if your cat wasn't such a what. Paddleboarding, man. Okay, real talk. Anyways, talking on the floor. Continue, Trevor.
Yeah, so it was kind of rumored at the time that Buffalo and Vancouver had a potential trade for Buffalo moving up, Vancouver moving down. It also came out recently that Nashville gave the Canucks an offer too, which Kyle, we talked about. Okay, shout out to the everydayers, they know this, but when we talked about potential draft floor trades, I mentioned the Canucks trading with Nashville down to the draft, and actually I had the Canucks, adding in a mid-round pick and picking up Dante Fabro in the process. So obviously none of that transpired, but who knows what could have been with Nashville and Vancouver. I will say, my tendency is to rip the Canucks on this a bit because I think that they just need the extra assets. You move down 4 spots, you still draft a good player, you get an additional pick. especially if it's like a second round pick in a deep draft, you got to take it. Now, if it was maybe like a third or a fourth round pick to move up a couple spots, then it's a little bit of a different story for me. But often when we've seen picks traded that high in the draft, it's something of significance going the other way, or at least a second round pick for moving up a few spots. So anyway, that's where I was on it. Tell me how the video made you feel and what your thoughts are on the Canucks refusing to trade down in the draft.
It made me feel more sure about Tom Willander because, again, I know this duo, Rutherford, Alvin, with the Canucks, they haven't proven a lot, if not anything, but they double down with their scouting staff, former champions, and they pick their guy. So I'm going to trust it. I'm also going to trust it even more because of some of the conversations we've had recently on the program. And if you're new to the show, welcome. But if you were here yesterday, okay? If you were here yesterday, you heard us talk about Carson Soucy and Ian Cole. Move those shoulders, baby. Okay? Your team every day, Locked On Canucks. And yesterday is one of those every days. And the way we were talking about the Canucks decor and the Canucks decor and the Canucks decor, it made me realize that, damn, this team is not just banking on Tom Willander. They made the right choice because they need to stockpile talent there. They need to. Instead of us always having to scramble or be concerned about top 4 defensemen, let's get the sure thing. Let's develop the sure thing, right? For real. And I think that's going to happen with Tom Willander. They're so important. They're so important. So I guess all in all, I feel like they made the right call because we needed a defenseman. And I'm confident in this dude's maturity and hopefully his skill set / potential get reached.
Again, I hope I'm wrong on this take, and
Beggsy, you got to get over yourself, man. You got to live in the moment, man. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing, dude? You're like the super dad, the best parent of all time. You're supposed to live in the moment, and you're still like, just asset management, bro. Like I told you earlier, man, I'm excited for September. I'm done living with the draft. I'm done living with assumption. Okay, Tom Willander, you're my 3rd favorite Canuck of all time already, man. I'm putting that out there.
Wow, look at that.
Okay,
who are the first two? Who are the first two?
Man, oh man. First, dude, Henrik Sedin, and I want to hit him with the curveball, but again, I want to put out positivity out there. Okay, Elias Pettersson.
Wow, Henrik Sedin.
Yeah. Yo, 3 Swedish players.
Elias Pettersson. I feel like Danielson got shafted there, but that's okay. Henrik was the captain, the center. I get it, man. I get it. It's all good.
Dude, when I say Henrik, I'm saying Daniel too. It's a 2-for-1. Let's set that straight. It's pretty much the only athlete duo, like Hall of Fame athlete duo, that's actually just essentially one thing, and that's the Sedins. And that may sound really disrespectful, but I don't know. That's just the way I feel about them. Like they just come in a package, and it's cool. Okay, it's cool. Your team every day, Locked On Canucks, Kyle Bhawan, Trevor Beggs. A bit of a Wi-Fi issue here. I don't know how we scrambled through that, but it is what it is. It's Friday, bro. It's Friday. We're groovy. We're doing our thing, and we're looking forward to the barbecues, to the hamburgers, to the butter chicken, man. To the butter chicken. I'm getting butter chicken this weekend, man. For real. Hey, speaking of butter chicken, I can say this. I don't know if you can. And I wouldn't care if you said this or made this transition, but in 2023, you probably can't do this. Speaking of butter chicken, Archie Baines, yo. Dude, for real. Shout out to Surrey. And you know what? When you say things like, the Canucks have the worst prospect, I get it. I get where you're coming from. But it's the summer. The sun is shining. And can we really have one of the worst prospect pools in the NHL when we got to do from Surrey being one of our top 10 prospects? I saw Chris Faber's list. I don't know if he revealed his whole list, but I saw him tweet this out, and he had who's that defenseman that we drafted in the 3rd round this year?
Hunter Brusiewicz.
Okay, he had him at number 10 and at number 9 on Faber's top 10 prospect list. Number 9 was Archie Baines. So put some respect on our city, Trevor, and our prospect. Well, okay, you know what? Back to the subject. Asset management, getting more picks. It's huge. It's needed. And it could still happen. It could still happen with the Connor Garland trade. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you, man, newborn life has me short on sleep. It's harder to work out and eat healthy like I used to. But now, you know what? That's why I need my AG1 in the morning, okay? Because I am short on that sleep. I am not eating as healthy. But when I have my AG1 in the morning, I feel like $1 million, baby. Since I've been drinking AG1, I've noticed an overall feeling of sustained energy, support for mental clarity, and focus. And hey, I need to bring you the goods here on Locked On Canucks. AG1 Hey replaces your multivitamin, your probiotic, and more in one simple drinkable habit. AG1 uses a science-driven formula of vitamins, probiotics, and whole food source nutrients. Science, baby. And Kyle, guess what? You and I, we're both 30, okay? I know we need that products like AG1 to keep us feeling like we're only 29. And guess what? It costs us less than $3 per day to stay healthy and stay young, my man. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/NHL Network. That's drinkag1.com/NHL Network. Check it out.
By the way, before we get back to the show, I got to remind you again that every episode of Locked On Canucks will be available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcatcher at 4:20 p.m. for no reason at all. Again, every episode of Locked On Canucks at 4:20 p.m. for no reason at all. Let's get back to the show. Okay. We back. Kyle Bhawan, Locked On Canucks. Trevor Beggs, Locked On Canucks. Your team every day. Every day. We saw it earlier this week, Beggsy, family man, podcaster at the same time. And the Wi-Fi's been an issue today, which is all good because, Trevor, your family should be allowed to watch Coco Melon, on every single TV screen. It's a Friday. Get the party bumping on every single TV screen in the house. Some Coco Melon, for real. It is.
Yeah, that's a party nowadays, eh? Holy, that's my life now, buddy. But let's speaking of parties, let's have some fun here in segment 2. Okay, I got I fell down the rabbit hole last night. Watched a little YouTube before bed, and I was watching all of the Canucks playoff overtime goals in franchise history. So let's do it, man. Let's kick off Trevor's trivia and get to it. Canucks playoff overtime goal edition.
Trevor's trivia starts now.
Okay, I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
All right. Let's I'll start with this one, okay? How many playoff overtime goal scorers have there been in Canucks history?
Dude, what? Okay, and nobody can get this right, okay? I'm going to say, damn.
If you're within like 3, I'll give it to you for sure. Because that's 18. A tough one to get a bang on. 18. Hey, you're within 3, okay? It's 21. 21 goal scorers. Not bad, not bad. Okay. This one, you're going to have to name names, okay? There have been 4 players in Canucks history who have scored multiple playoff overtime winning goals. Who are those 4 players?
Dude, okay, Brendan Morrison. Alex, no. Okay, Alex Burrows.
No BMO. Yeah, Alex Burrows is one. Yeah.
Damn, no BMO. Okay, Alex Burrows. Henrik Sedin.
Yeah, that's 2. You got to go back to the 90s for the other ones.
I got this, man. Pavel Bure?
Nope.
Damn, you only had 1? Are you serious? Damn.
Yeah, he only had 1. That was a big one. Greg Adams. Greg Adams is the only one with 3. Burrows and Greg Adams both had 3. My apologies.
And the other guys in the 90s too?
Yeah.
Courtnall?
Close. He had 1. Another. Dude, it's a BC boy. It's a BC boy. I'll give you one more guess.
Clip Ronning?
Hey, there you go.
4 for 7, kind of. Not bad.
Okay, man. I'll ask you this. So, only, and I hopefully I'm not wrong on this, but only 2 Canucks have scored goals past 2 overtime. So basically, triple overtime or more. Who are the 2 goal scorers of Canucks playoff overtime winners past the second overtime?
Dude, Bure and Henrik Sedin or Daniel Sedin. Well, who was the guy who scored against Dallas? Who was it again? Why am I forgetting this?
Oh, come on. You got this, man.
Daniel scored in overtime.
No, it was Henrik. Daniel set it up. Henrik in front, man.
Twins. They're one person, okay?
Yeah.
You know what? It's all good. I'm actually a little ashamed about that. I don't know why I couldn't get that flashback correct.
That's okay.
Yeah, was that right? Was it Bure and Hank?
No. I'll give you a hint. You said the name earlier, but it's not Bure.
Oh, Brendan Morrison. Yeah, against Calgary. Damn.
Yeah, triple overtime, baby. There you go.
I'm firing at
there you go
right now. I gotta nail it here, okay? Because these are some pretty easy questions. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah, okay. I'll ask you. Where do I want to go with this one? Which? This is a tough question. Which current NHL general manager scored an overtime game-winning goal for the Vancouver Canucks? This is a tough one.
Damn, bro. What former Canucks players now? This is
Which current NHL general manager scored a playoff overtime winning goal for the Canucks? I'll give you a hint. It's a GM in the Western Conference.
Yeah, thanks.
I wouldn't have got this if I didn't watch the video last night, to be honest with you.
It's a great question. I don't know why I can't get it. No, you're gonna have to tell me, man. I can't even take a guess.
Jim Nill. Jim Nill, right winger for your Vancouver Canucks during the 82 playoff run. He scored an overtime game-winning goal for the Canucks. I believe it was against LA. Great mustache, man. So, amazing mustache.
Do you think the mustache is coming back?
In general, I don't really think so.
I
No.
think the mustache is coming back. I think it is. You know how the beards just took over the last, like, well, they've always been important, but I feel like everyone's got a beard now, you know? Like,
right.
Like your girl, your partner doesn't want you to cut your beard, you know? If you shave your beard, don't see me. You know, don't see me for a week. Let it grow back. Like, they're disappointed, you know? You look too babyish, but I think there is something mature also about a mustache as well if you can pull it off. It can give you the same effect as the beard, like make you feel like a little older and maybe like handsome. I don't know, but I think the mustache is coming back.
Yeah, I'm not convinced, man. I'm not convinced. I mean, I can't grow a great mustache, so I think I'm a bit biased, to be honest with you. But we'll see. I'd love to be wrong. That'd be an interesting trend for the 2020s, man. All right, man. I do have one last question for you here. Before we wrap up Trevor's trivia, maybe I'll ask two questions. Maybe I'll give you the easy one. Okay, I'll ask the easy one first. Who scored the last playoff overtime goal for the Vancouver Canucks?
Easy one. Chris Tanev?
Pretty close. It was Bo Horvat.
Oh, it was Horvat, right? In overtime against St. Louis, right? Did those playoffs count? Come on, man.
Yeah, I felt like they didn't count. But I do. When Horvat scored the overtime winner, I just landed in Ottawa from Vancouver, so I was watching on my phone. And I think Everly was sleeping beside me in the backseat of the car, and I was like, yeah!
Okay, so you still that answers the question right there. Did those playoffs count? They did, because they did instill.
I felt it.
Yeah, you felt it, and I felt it too. So I apologize for that. Yeah. Those playoffs did count.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Here is the last question before we get out of here on Trevor's trivia. 5 defensemen have scored an overtime winner for the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, you just mentioned one of them. Who are the other 4?
Okay. So Chris Tanev for sure. Kevin Bieksa, obviously.
Yep.
You said 5. How many are from the 2000s? Did I just name them?
One from the 2000s.
One more left from the 2000s, or I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, early 2000s. Yeah.
Early 2000s.
West Coast Express Canucks.
Yeah. I was gonna say like Sopel.
Yeah, there you go. Brent Sopel scored one.
I remember that. And where are the other 2 from?
One's from the 82 run, and one's from late 80s, early 90s.
Oh my god, dude. Okay.
They're both names you'll recognize, I think. So one is the father. Well, they're actually both fathers of NHLers.
Whoa, dude.
One's the father of a very good NHLer who's from Vancouver, born in Vancouver.
Wow.
He just played in the Stanley Cup Finals this season too.
Dude, okay, let me think about this. This is like not good for podcast listeners. Okay, so they just played in the Stanley Cup Finals, Florida, Vegas. Like I don't know his first name, Reinhart.
Yeah, Paul Reinhart. Yeah,
Paul Reinhart. There you go. Okay, bam, and then you had one.
There's one more. I don't think you're gonna get it.
Oh, good. Let us know.
Colin Campbell.
Oh yeah, that dude.
Yeah. Colin Campbell scored a playoff overtime winning goal for the Canucks in the 82 run. Hey, that's it, man. You did pretty good. You know, I give you the round of applause, man.
I don't know.
I don't know where the button is, but
those were Canucks related questions, and I'm gonna be accountable, bro. Like I think I hit like at 58%, you know, which is not good enough. It's not good enough, man. It really isn't. It is what it is, though. Locked on Canucks, your team every day. Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bhawan, Friday, having fun, moving with the Wi-Fi, because Coco Melon is getting in the way. It's all good. It's a family show and a fan first show as well. Hey, speaking of which, comment corner on the other side. Beggsy, do we got anyone to shout out here?
No one to shout out, buddy. But we'll catch you on the other side here on Locked On Canucks.
Okay. Locked On Canucks, Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bhawan. Your team every day. And yeah, man, just having a good old time, keeping the train going, man, for real. It's been a run, 5 days a week for a very long time. Do we take a break going into next week? Do we just, give the people 3 episodes a week, warm up our voices, sort of, but prep it also for what will come in September, and that's getting back to 5 days a week, dude. 5 days a week of podcasting, bro. Dude, it's not the easiest thing in the world, People just think we talk on microphones. It's a mental process, man. Me and Trevor are talking at 6:30 in the morning, prepping for the show, okay? So I think we're going to take the break, man. I made that decision.
I think
we're taking the break.
Yeah. And I think that's best for you too, man. You're the one, again, shout out to you, buddy. You're the one doing all the production, the thumbnails, adding the little sounds, making the clips. Kyle is definitely the reason the show is on the air, man. I'm just the pretty voice behind the microphone.
No. It's definitely a team effort between us and the fans. And, part of me is a little disappointed that I've come to that conclusion. Oh, yeah, we'll just go to 3 shows a week next week and ride that schedule up until September, because, there is some momentum here, and I'm really grateful for the people listening, and, they deserve 5 days a week. They really do. And I wish I could give it to them, but I think I'm going to use the time to, just be more creative and prepare for September, use that downtime to, again, think of other ways that we can produce this show and give something to some really, really loyal fans, man, for real. We appreciate those ears. Hey, speaking of those ears, let's get to Comment Corner.
It's time for Comment Corner.
Okay, first comment goes to the real AT. Shout out to Kamloops or Kelowna. He's from one of those places. I always get those 2 mixed up, okay, for real. Anywho, the only other plausible option I can see Hughes partner up with is Noah Juleson. Noah Juleson, okay? Was there a reason why you didn't bring him up yesterday as much as maybe we should have? Because there have been multiple pundits, right? That's what they say, that, do say that he is the best fit with Hughes. I mean, they played really well last season. I mean, for me, I'll answer this first. It's just not really appetizing for me to put a career AHL-like defenseman or a tweener with Quinn Hughes going into a season that really, really matters. I think it's really hard to sell that a lot of progress is going to be made with that type of decision-making. But I'm curious to see what the Hockey Mind thinks about Noah Juleson possibly playing with Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, I see him as a good fill-in option. I don't see him as an everyday NHLer. And hey, Noah Juleson proved me wrong. Okay, proud of Abbotsford. BC boy proved me wrong. But from what I've seen from him in the AHL and the limited time at the NHL level, I mean, people like the physicality. He makes some simple passes, but he's made mistakes at the NHL level too. Again, I don't see him as a legitimate option in terms of being an everyday NHLer alongside Quinn Hughes. I don't think he's earned that opportunity. Again, go earn it, go prove me wrong. But I just see him as a call-up option at this point, and nothing really more than that.
Wow, Abbotsford, huh? This guy's up the street. You just hit it, man. You just hit him in the head with your version of the facts. But you said it most importantly, right? You said, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Anyone that we talk ish about who represents our team, the Vancouver Canucks, and I was saying the same things about Jim Benning too, because
we both were.
I was borderline demonic when it came to how I'd talk about Jim Benning, but I always did say once in a while, prove me wrong though, please. Just prove me wrong, because I want what's best for the people, the city, and the team. Shout out to the Vancouver Canucks. Comment number 2 goes to great episode, guys. Oh, this comes from Marky Mark. I'm sorry. It says, great episode, guys. I have a question for Kyle. What would be your go-to joke if you were the barista at Starbucks? Because I mentioned this, right? If these baristas want tips in a transaction that takes 30 seconds, you know what I'm saying? They got to make the first 10 to 15 seconds count, just hit you with the joke. Now, I'm not that creative. I'm not shout out to stand-up comics. I can't write jokes. Never really been able to do that. But I feel if they took a guess at your order, you know what I'm saying? Like you walk into the door, let me guess, man, a grande pike, medium roast, just take a guess. If you get it right, you're getting the tip. If you present the guess with some charisma, you still may get the tip if you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the way to do it. Guess the drink.
Not bad.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I got nothing. I'm not really a creative joke guy. The only joke I really know is about a nun and a bus driver, and it's very inappropriate. I don't think they give me any tips.
The only joke I know as well is what what does a chicken? What do you call a chicken who's staring at a piece of lettuce?
No idea.
A chicken sees a salad. Anyways, comment number 3. Actually, before we
you should be a dad, man.
Before we continue, like Trevor, if I know you're anti-tip Starbucks employees, like I'm surprised you don't have the T-shirt yet, But if they get if they get your drink, come on, bro, you got to give them 50 cents at least, man. You got to throw the extra quarter in there, extra 2 quarters. Come on, bro.
I would do it because my drink at Starbucks is just like a drip coffee. So sure, why not?
You look like a macchiato, marcacino, frappuccino, 2 pumps of vanilla type of dude. Okay. Anyways, next comment goes to Phillips. He said, "Lose Bhawan, lose that son of a." Okay?
Ouch.
He said, "Lose Bhawan. He adds absolutely nothing to the show, and his voice is extremely annoying. Get someone who knows something / anything about hockey." At the end of the day, I didn't really prove myself in today's episode based on me getting 58% of Canucks trivia 10 minutes ago, and I'm sorry that this guy finds my voice like overly annoying.
Oh no! You got no need to apologize.
No.
I get. Shout out to the.
You didn't hear the episode where I explained myself, sort of. Something happened.
Right.
Like half a decade ago, something got caught in my throat. Some sort of liquid just coated my throat, and it went down the wrong pipe as well. And I didn't want to get surgery because I'm not into night. Like, don't cut into my throat. I'll just live with the consequences. And that's what happened, man. That's what happens, man. That's why they call me the tongue twister, though. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I might pull out the mustache. I might just pull out the mustache. Get it going. Get it dripping. Get it soaking. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Ow.
Hey, man, there you go. Put on the Birddog shorts, get the mustache, and get the tongue out. There you go, buddy.
Boom, bam.
That's living the dream right there.
Okay, Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Beggsy, you don't got to defend me, okay? At the end of the day, you love us or hate us, it's go Canucks go. And I think this guy loves you. He's tuning in, He probably wants somebody else to sit beside you, and you're a part of the show. So it's like if one of us get love, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like one of us get hate, at least one of us got love, because that's what it's all about. Locked On Canucks. We want to put on a show for the people, talk about the team, your team every day, even through Wi-Fi issues, even through Coco Melon Marathon, live streaming in the background, getting in the way. It is what it is. It is what it is. Again, your team every day. Beggsy, sign us out.
It is what it is. And hey, you know what? We got to get out of here, okay? So shout out to the everydayers, the occasional listeners. If this is your first time listening, welcome to the program. Again, we say we got shows coming up 5 days a week. We might go down to 3 days a week next week, okay? Getting paid a little less in the offseason here. But one thing I do want to do when we get into next week is talk about the Canucks' projected lineup going into next season. That's on my mind. Also, a bit of a deep dive into Teddy Bluger and Philip Hronek, the Canucks' biggest X factor going into next season. Stay tuned for that on the Locked On Canucks feed, wherever you listen to podcasts. But for now, I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's come out, and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.